In our first story, the implementation of government fertilizer subsidy program in the Upper West region currently hangs in a limbo. Farmers in the region have raised a red flag on pronounced shortages at many distribution points, following suspicions that distributors have either hoarded or smuggled the fertilizers out of the country. The Regional Coordinating Council called an emergency meeting to address the problem. Rafiq Salam reports now from Wa.
Out of the 180,000 metric tons of subsidized fertilizer earmarked for farmers in the country, 36,000 metric tons was brought to the Upper West region. 2 weeks after they started the distribution of the fertilizer, farmers have complained that they are unable to get the commodity to their farms because the distributors said they have run out of stock. There are fears that the fertilizers, which are highly subsidized by the government, may have been smuggled out for sale at higher prices at neighboring countries where their farmers doesn't enjoy similar facility. Having fears that if the situation is allowed to continue, it may have a ripple effect on government intention to modernize agriculture in order to improve productivity, help achieve food security and crop profitability for farmers. Upper West Regional Minister Suleiman Al-Hassan called an emergency meeting to address the issue. In attendance were municipal and district chief executives, regional and district agriculture officers, and the distributors of the fertilizers. The West districts affected by the shortage are the Sasala West and East, and which ironically, for the past decade, have remained the food basket of the region.
We should all resolve that if you were one of those with that kind of habit, you just bury it in this house before you go out. And that whatever we are doing here, we are doing it for the sake of our people and not for ourselves. Don't look at the benefit that will come to you as an individual, but the larger majority of people around us. This Bible saying that what will a man gain if he shall own the whole world and loses his own soul?
The distributors complained that the quota given to them was not enough and was exhausted.
10,000, and all these people will have to come to me to buy 10,000, and up to now I receive less than 10,000. So the issue we have to be looking at is, though the other 10 companies are there and their fertilizers are here, they don't actually need those fertilizers.
That explanation didn't go down well with Deputy Upper West Regional Minister Hamid Tunia Isaku.
So even though here you are saying you have distributed 15,450, but we are all from villages, we are all from districts. We are not seeing the impact. We are not seeing it. If you want to go on district basis and you analyze the quantity of fertilizer that have gone into some districts, in fact, you cannot trace. You cannot just appreciate the fact that farmers actually got the fertilizer.
Another issue of concern was the quality of the subsidized fertilizer, which farmers said is not good enough for their farms. One of the distributors and chief executive officer of 18th April Company Limited, Osman Hussein Sule, denied that assertion.
I'm a farmer myself. I've used it myself. I've been using it almost every year. It will interest you to note that even last year, the demonstrations that we did, at least we have an average of 16 bags per acre, and that is not even enough. Using Afcot fertilizer, we had 16 bags per acre, and that is not enough. We can even get more than that if it applies very well.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafiq Salam. Wow.
And the Ghana Poultry Farmers Association is demanding compensation payment for some 34 members whose birds were destroyed following a bird flu outbreak last year. Parliament approved an 11 million Ghana cedi fund to compensate those farmers who lost their birds within the period. However, speaking to Joy Business, the vice chairman of the Poultry Farmers Association said only 27 members have so far received some payments.
Parliament approved 11 million cedis for compensation. So, yes, we were monitoring to see whether all our farmers were getting compensated. Unfortunately, we detected that most of our farmers have not received compensation. As I talk now, we have about 34 of our members who have not received compensation. And since they are affected, business down, children are not going to school, family life, so much in hustle, we are only entreating government to consider the issue as to where 11 million that was voted, how come my 34 members have not received their compensation? As we talk now, about 27, 30 thereabout farmers that have been compensated. It's amount to 1.1 million. So if Parliament comes out with 11 million and only 1.1 has been paid to our farmers, then the 9.9 thereabout, where is it? Where has it gone to? As much as I agree that not all the 11 million was going to go to my members, I should think that at least whatever due farmers should have been paid by now, because that is the most important aspect of the compensations.
Meanwhile, the CEO of Boris B Farms is also demanding payment for money invested in the broiler rehabilitation project. The project, initiated in 2014, was aimed at raising broiler production in the country to cut down chicken imports. However, Boris Baidu said the 35 million Ghana cedis approved for the project has still not been paid.
I believe the broiler market is going to create enough jobs for the boys. If you go to the United States of America, 1 point something trillion is happening in the agri sector. Over 4 to 500 billion dollars is coming out of poultry. And we are having a zero broiler industry. Zero. The only thing that we did, and if anybody can talk better about this kind of broiler revitalization project, it is Boris B and the poultry farmers and the MOFA people who were present to supervise what we did. Okay? Because we financed the project, and it was said, plainly said, that the long waiting was not in vain, because we were waiting for money that the cabinet has decided to give to us, and that is a 39.5 million and change Ghana cedis, which never came to today. And Boris B Farms, we helped to support and finance this project. But the question is, have we received the money? We have not. And so we are struggling to continue. And we want to continue because we still believe in the project. And even the prophecy of the Bishops' Cathedral Conference confirms what can be done for the country through poultry.
Now we'll bring you more updates on the subject. An entrepreneurial training, development and innovation program has been launched at the Cape Coast Technical University to equip unskilled youth and women with employable skills. The center is expected to offer short courses for the youth in diverse vocational and technical programs in English and other local languages. Richard Kujunyakon has more.
The Entrepreneurial Development, Skill and Innovation Center was inaugurated at the Cape Coast Technical University with the prime purpose of equipping the youth with skills that could make them self-reliant. Skills such as baking, dressmaking, accessory making, tie and dye, manicure and pedicure, satellite installation, mobile phone repairs and many others would be taught at the center using the language the people understand while teaching them basic communication and business skills. The Cape Coast Technical University, under whose auspices the program is being run, is upbeat that the project will lead to a drop in the literacy rate in the central region and a rise in the number of students requiring higher education. Speaking at the opening, the Vice Chancellor of the Cape Coast Technical University, Professor Lawrence Atepo, was optimistic that the center would record an increase in its enrollment with such innovations and help improve the lives of the people.
The truth is that the benefits of organizing this training program for the youth are quite numerous, and the effects ripple. As indicated earlier, the management of this institution understands that we have a role to play towards national development. That is why we have been seeking opportunities to demonstrate our desire to contribute. We have all the facilities and the required human resources to provide the hands-on training required to empower the youth to make them self-reliant. At the end of the function, we will be very happy to conduct you around some of our facilities to get you better acquainted with our resources. They will be given lessons in entrepreneurship and innovation in addition to the hands-on training so that they can appreciate self-employment. They will also be supported with funds and equipment to enable them establish and manage their own businesses. The practical-based instruction will be presented in English and, where necessary, in Twi and Fandi.
The Human Resource Manager at the Youth Enterprises and Skills Development Center, Lydia Nkrumah, says her agency is looking forward to changing the styles of their modules in tune with the needs of the youth.
So the Youth Employment Agency, in changing its focus as well, as we have done, is to enhance and support this. We have our own modules that run vocational programs, but I believe right now we are looking to partner up. So the Honorable Barbara Isi, being a mother and a sister to Central Region, it's best that we would collaborate with them when doing these initiatives to support vocational and technical skills in Cape Coast.
Deputy Minister of Education and MP for Cape Coast North, Barbara Asha Aisi, the brainchild of the centre, assured the youth in Cape Coast of more of such innovations to improve their standards of living. Richard Kujunyakon, Joy News, Cape Coast.
And before we go, we have to take you to Liberia, where the Ghanaian community there has installed President Akufo-Addo as a paramount chief and handed to him the key to the capital, Monrovia. The president currently is in Liberia as part of his West African tour. Here are excerpts of the installment ceremony.
Paramount
Well, we say congratulations to him, the president, Nana Akufo-Addo. And that'll be it for the news update we have this morning.